tell us what the trigger on Abcam was. Tell us what the trigger was, because that's fascinating.
Okay, so...
this is the thing that galls me, because he's made more money out of biotech than I have because of Abcam.
Okay.
Which was a dumb idea. No, it wasn't a dumb idea. Sorry, I would have thought at the time it was a dumb idea.
Right. When we floated, one of the guys at one of the potential investment funds said that he'd done his PhD in biochemistry and had thought about doing exactly the same thing, and had done the business plan calculations and decided it wouldn't work. Mm. So I thought that's quite amusing. Abcam's we're about market cap about 300
million, yeah.
300, just a bit over 300 million. Anyway, so Abcam started in exactly the following way, and rather amusingly, I dug up all the emails from the first exchanges between me and Jonathan.
What, for this meeting?
No, for actually, I've just stepped down as chairman of Abcam.
A bit scared that David had prepared
they had a really nice leaving do for me a Friday a week ago, and so as part of that I had to give a little speech, so I actually dug up all the old emails, which I tend to keep this stuff. So it was very, but we've only got, as Shai said, 2 minutes, and that was about 2 minutes ago. So let me just tell you. So my wife and Rosie, who's now Jonathan's wife, were working at an art gallery, and there was a Christmas dinner, and because the run-up to Christmas is a bit busy, we actually had this Christmas dinner about the 20th of January 1998. And Jonathan and I were sitting towards one end of the table, and of course they were talking about art and all the other stuff that they knew about, and so I was asking Jonathan what he did. He's a postdoc, and he was going to finish that June, July. So I said, what are you going to do? Because I'm quite interested in people's careers. And he said, well, I'm thinking about selling antibodies because there's this company called Santa Cruz that I hate with a passion, sells antibodies and absolute rubbish. And I really think I could do better than that. We could make some antibodies and do better. And we had a discussion of which it was clear, and Jonathan will say this. I mean, he didn't actually know about the economics of this stuff. This is what happens when
he didn't know much about businesses.
He didn't know a bit about, not that much about. Oh, he's a postdoc, so I mean, it was kind of. So the conversation went roughly like this. I mean, you know. So how do these antibodies work? Well, I know how antibodies work. I know about that stuff. But basically, how do you get antibodies out of an animal? Well, you inject them with a peptide, and then in a mammal you wait 72 days, and then you can do various bleeds, and then you purify it and take off the antibodies. And if you've got a goat, for example, goat's a good model for this stuff, because they tend to produce a lot of antibody, and you can get around about 500 aliquots, which is a dose. Well, it's not a dose, actually. It's good enough for about 5 or 10 experiments out of 500 of these aliquots out of a goat. So, Jonathan, how much did it cost to do a goat? So you had to think for a moment, because, of course, you do this stuff in the lab where you go out and make antibodies. It costs you about £1,500 to do a goat in the antibody sense. And then And then I asked, well, how many aliquots do you get out of this goat? And it was about 500. So despite having had some Chateau de Chasselet, I could work out this was £3 an aliquot. And then I said, well, how much do you sell them for? And the answer was 150 quid. Now, 147 pound gross margin on a £150 product is a pretty good deal. I mean, that's almost as good as CRFS. So then I said, I remember stopping for a moment, and I sort of thought, a bit like those, you know the joke about the economist walking down the street, and one says there's a £20 note on the pavement, and the other one says there can't be because the market would have cleared it by now, right? And I thought, why is this opportunity sitting here? So I said, and actually the hairs are still going up on the back of my head, you know, as I say this. There's a problem. There must be a problem with this. You can't ship this stuff out of the lab because it's dangerous. And Jonathan went, oh no, you can put it in the post and send it, it'll survive 3 or 4 days. And I went, that means you can sell it over the web. He went, yeah, that's right. Within we'd had a bit of trouble with exchanging emails, but the following Saturday he was in my office at analysis. By the time we got to, that was January.
January 1998.
So by March we'd chosen the name. By October we got the website up and running, and we were selling our first product.
But this is .com boom.
Oh yeah, but
this is .com boom. But the issue was that this was perfect, right? Because actually, the people who wanted to buy on the web were people who would go on the web and could find out the information on the web. Whereas at that time, the thing I was seeing and I was feeling, oh my God, I'm missing, was that everyone, you name something retail, and everyone was setting up companies to sell it on the web. And most were bonkers.
They were
I mean,
bonkers.
were basket cases, because actually they didn't scale, they didn't work. But this one did.
And the reason why it scaled was that, going back to the resources at the time, and we really will finish shy, the resources at the time, I'd built analysis with all its IT systems. So all those IT systems and all that web stuff went into Abcam. And the managing director, chief operating officer at Abcam is Jim Warwick, who was my head of IT and analysis.